Hi guys, we have a little bit of a technical difficulty, but we're starting right now with our live. We're talking about plant-based milks. If there is anyone online and you can just let me know that you can hear me, I'll be here. Okay, so I just wanted to show you first that, well, we have everything ready right now. Chef Viridiana is here. So we have our ingredients there and our appliances that we're going to use, all the utensils. So basically what this class is about is plant-based milks, so non-dairy milks. A lot of people always ask at our classes at the Welcome Center, and a lot of questions that I see here on the group, which ones we need to choose, which ones are better. So we're going to make our own milks today, milks quote unquote, because they're not actually milk. So the main reason we use these beverages is because we want to have either a little bit more texture in our cereal or in our coffee or in different preparations where we use milk without using the milk. So these are substitutes in a culinary way. So we look for taste, we look for texture, but we're not actually substituting any nutritional benefits that dairy can give us. So this is not a nutritional substitute, but it is something that we can use to substitute milk in when we're cooking or when we are making certain preparations. So it's basically just for the flavor and for the texture. That's it. So there's different milks that we're going to find. Mainly they're made from grains, legumes, seeds, and nuts. So today we're going to prepare oat milk, sesame or sunflower seed milk. Sunflower seeds? Oh no, almond milk, cashew milk, coconut milk. Okay? So we have grains, nuts, and coconut. But we can also, okay, so we can also use seeds like hemp, we can use seeds like sunflower seeds, we can use other types of seeds. We don't have those here, we're just doing nuts, oats, and coconut. And then we're gonna make some preparations. So if you have any questions, just let me know. I'll be monitoring the live, but now Chef Viridiana is going to start with class. Let me set this up.
Okay, I think you're right. Okay, we are going to start with almond milk. So here I have the almonds, the whole almonds. They are soaked in water, just plain water. The most time you soak this, the better, at least like overnight or 8 hours. So they can blend better. And if you don't have that much time and you want to do it quickly, you can also use like warm water or hot water, so you can like make it quicker. But I really recommend that the longer time you soak them, the better. And we can use the whole almond, or we can also peel them. Once you soak them, the skin is coming off very easily. So you can do either, like you can remove all the skin if you don't like it, or you can leave it. It's fine. The water is going to be like kind of brown, but that is totally normal. We are not going to use the soap water. We are going to remove it, and we are going to put new clean water. Okay. Okay, so we have here 1 cup of almonds that are already soaked, and we're gonna add it to the blender, and then we are gonna add 3 cups of water.
So, is there any specific reasons why you choose almond or cashew milk or oat milk, or any reasons why you would choose one over the other?
I think would depend of different things. One of them is what you can get from them. Usually with nuts, you can get more like fat, healthy fats, and more like a rich flavor, like with a nutty flavor. And but there is also people that cannot eat much nuts, or allergies or things like that. So usually coconut is not that allergic. Uh, most of people that are allergic to nuts can eat coconuts. So that's why I'm choosing this one too. And the oat, it's because for that people that cannot eat, and also it's very popular now because it's like a very creamy texture because of the starch that it has. So that's why I'm choosing different ones. This one doesn't have that much fat. You'll see the different texture with using cashews because they're like more soft, they're like more creamy. Actually, you can use that for substitute of coffee creamer also, because it's like more sweet and more thick. Okay, so that's why I'm. And also you can choose the flavor, especially what are you gonna use it for. Like for smoothies, I like to use this one, like the almonds, or the coconut. But like for other kind of drinks, I like to use like oats, and you
Right.
see like the difference of the flavor and the combinations, and it's just like to experiment and try and see what you rather to use for each drink.
Okay. I don't like dairy. I mean, I really like dairy. I'm sorry. I really like dairy, but I can't tolerate dairy that much. So that's why I choose plant-based milks. But I'm not a huge fan of them really. And I'll talk about it after the class. But if you're preparing them at home, it's very easy to make them very clean. You're going to see right now the only ingredients that we're going to use are sweeteners or flavors, the nuts and water. But if you are buying them, there's a lot of preservatives that they have to use because they don't keep for too long. So that's something that I don't like, and I'm a little bit lazy to make these type of milks, but it's a good option if you want to have them. Can you freeze these?
You can, but the texture is not going to be the same.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I really don't recommend. What I can recommend is, I know it can be like a lot of work, seems, but it is not that much.
Right.
I mean, if you get organized, I mean, you can have like for 3 days this in the fridge, 3 to 5 days, depends. If you use glass to store it, it's gonna be better. But I think in 3 days you can like use like that amount of milk for different recipes. It's just like you have to be organized and okay, I'm gonna use it. I'm really gonna use it so it doesn't go waste and doesn't require that much time.
For when you're doing almond milk, do you take out the skin? I see that you removed the skin of one, and I've seen in some recipes, but
yes, I mean that is totally optional. If you want to not to have it, at the end of the day, we are going to remove all the. We're going to strain all the pulp.
Right.
So it depends on you if you want to have like more fiber on it or you cannot. Some people say that it's kind of difficult for them to like digest the skin.
Okay.
So it's easy. So that is going to be more work to remove the. So that's why I use it like the whole thing.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah. Okay. I just put it in the blender and then we're gonna blend it like for 1 minute. And that's it. So now we're gonna, here I have the colander, so I'm gonna use this. And I like to use these kind of bottles so they can be more fresh in the fridge.
No sé si se está viendo, ¿no?
Sí.
Y se ve como caliente, ¿está viendo?
Okay, I'm just gonna press a little bit the pulp so I can have all the milk as much as I can so it can be dry. Okay. And I'm not gonna throw the pulp away. I usually use this, or if you have time and you wanna really use this, you can put it in the oven, like to dry it and use it like almond milk. I'm sorry, like almond flour. Or the other option I use it for is like this. I put it like in a ice cube tray and make like almond pulp cubes, so I can use it for smoothies also. And you add, usually when I use another kind of milk, like oat milk, and make and you want to add some fat and more fiber, I use this. I use the frozen pulp. Okay. So usually this is the long part, just to strain it to remove all the pulp. But the rest of it is not going to take you that much time. I mean, to soak the almonds, you just need a couple of seconds to put water on it, and then you just leave it there, and then 1 minute to blend it. And so this is just the long part to strain it. That's it. Okay. Okay, and here we have our milk. Okay, and now I'm gonna use the cashews that are soaked too. Here, I don't know if you can see, but here the water, you can see like small like dots of fat, like when you have a broth that has fat on it that go up in the surface, is because usually cashews have more fat, but it's a good kind of fat that you want. So you can see it there. But also we're gonna remove this water and use clean one.
So every time that you prepare, you have to use clean water. You soak it with one water, and then you blend with fresh water.
Yes, also because some substances that are kind of difficult to digest in the nuts, they go in the water. So it's a way that remove that for to make easier to get. Like it's similar when you soak like beans or lentils, but
Right.
you don't use that water. It's the same here.
Okay. And I've seen a lot of other types of dairy products like yogurt, cheese, other types of dairy preparations that we would usually find with milk when they're vegan. I see more cashews are used than other nuts. Is that for a specific reason?
Yes, usually it's because the fat that contains cashews. We want, when you're using something vegan, that try to make it as similar as the dairy milk.
Nutrition-wise or taste or?
Both.
Okay.
It is for both reasons. Because texture, because the fat that is going to have like more flavor, but also you want the same similar texture.
Okay.
Also. But also the fat gives you more nutrition. So it's like 3 reasons actually.
Okay.
Yes.
Is it the same amount of water for all of them?
Yes. Usually the ratio is like for 1 cup of nuts or seeds, you use 3 of water.
Okay.
You can do it like less if you want. You can, you're gonna have like more dense, a more thick milk.
Okay. So here we're using a Ninja blender. No, that's fine. I think you can hear me even with that. But we're using a Ninja blender, and we just use a Vitamix. I do highly recommend that you get these type of blenders when you are making these preparations, because if you use a regular blender, it's going to burn. So here I want to show you, just really quick, that the type of blender that you use is really important, because if you use a regular blender, like this one, this is your regular, what is it? Hamilton from Target. These run for like $30. They're cheap and they're really good for making smoothies. But if you're using these heavy nuts, or if you're making, or if you're using legumes, so if you look at the blades, they point upwards. You can see it there. So the blades in these type of blenders, they point up. So it's very easy for the nuts to go down, and that's why they burn. And if you look at these, I mean, besides them having, being high speed, they have horsepower, something like that. The blades are flat. So they're pointy at the tip, but they're long and they're flat. So that makes it a lot harder for the nuts to stay on the bottom and burn. So the type of blender that you use is really important, right?
Yes. Okay, so one difference that you're gonna notice in this is cashew usually blends very well with the water. You're not gonna have much of pulp, actually almost nothing, very little, because it's gonna blend very well, because the texture is very different, because they are like more soft. That's why you are going to have like a more creamy texture with this one. Actually, this is one of my favorites because of the flavor and because of the texture. Usually, if you want to use it like as a coffee creamer, or I usually like iced coffee, and like to use this one because it's like more thick. It's kind of sweet also without adding any sugar, so that helps if you want to cut some sugar in your coffee. And also the color is kind of different. It's more like not that white. So for me, it's kind of fun to play with this. If you want to use it also as a coffee creamer, you can do the same, but just adding some vanilla or cinnamon, or you can put like a natural to sweet, like dates, and you can blend them. You can put the dates in the soap also, so they blend well, and then you have like a natural sweet coffee creamer or milk. Okay, so look, all the amount that you're gonna have, just one cup of cashews. I think also in the price, is a win-win, because you are getting just the good things from the nuts and the water. You basically have just two ingredients and not all the fillers that you can find, like thickeners or artificial sweeteners, or other things that they put now on these kind of milks that are gonna be very, very hard to digest, especially some kind of gums that they put on it that our body doesn't recognize as something natural, and we have a very hard time like to digest those kind of things.
Usually when you're buying nut milks from the store, you'll see that they have guar gum, xanthan gum. So that's to thicken. And then you'll have certain oils. They'll add oils to make it creamier, and then they'll add sweeteners. So basically, they're trying to modify, not just modify the texture, they also modify the taste. They might modify the color. So you really have to watch out for those ingredients. If they have, they do need preservatives. They do need to be preserved some way because they only last like 5 days, 3 days, yeah?
3 to 5 days.
Right.
It will depend of the how you store it and the temperature and everything. So yes, of course, it's like more convenient to have like something in the fridge that you can use for more than a week. But if you compare to all the things that you're gonna put in your body, I think it's better just to invest a couple of minutes to do this than to buy the
Exactly.
ones. There are very good. I cannot remember a specific brand, but there are some of them, a few that you can find, but you have to look at the ingredients. I have buy a couple of them. Usually, the good ones you are gonna find it in the fridge, not in shelf, like in these cartons packages. And those ones are in the fridge because they're gonna last less time, and they usually have only salt, like used as a preservative, a small amount of salt, but the rest of them are gonna have like a bunch of a very big lot of ingredients. And as you can see, we are only using 2 ingredients, so that is a huge difference.
Yeah.
And that huge difference, you're gonna feel it in your body.
Yeah, and well, the ones that I have seen that are, okay, I know Silk has an organic line that has only salt as a preservative. It's unsweetened. But what I've seen in many of these products that have very few ingredients, they'll add vitamins. So they'll add like vitamin B12, or they'll add vitamin D, so that it could kind of mimic the nutrients that dairy can give you. So that's also something that, you don't need to do that if you don't really, because you don't want to drink these type of milks for their nutritional value. If you can get as much as you can from them, of course it's good, but it's not going to be a substitute for. So yeah, so I mean, it is really important to read the ingredients, and I'll leave the list of brands. I did look up some brands that could be good for you, or that will not be as processed as others, ultra processed as others.
Yes. So this is the difference. This is the small amount of pulp that you get from the cashew. It's more, actually, this one can use like a kind of a spread. You can put honey on this, and you can put it on a bread or something.
Oh, that's good. I didn't know that.
Yes. So it's kind of a ricotta cheese texture. So you can use this. You can also freeze it and add it to smoothies or something else. So it's just a small amount, but this can be useful too.
And because it's a big difference, right? It's the same amount of nuts.
Yes.
It's the same amount of nuts, and this is like the pulp that was left was pretty big, and that's not that much. And we see it's a small amount. But this can this be used for flour? I remember once we did some recipes with you that we made crackers. Was it was it with this or some other?
With almond, with this. Yes, I have a recipe that we use this one to do crackers. Yeah, I've done this many times.
So you can dry that in the oven.
Yes, actually, like this. I don't have the right amount, but we just add salt and some flax seeds and olive oil, and then we put it in a baking tray with this kind of what is the name of like something to use for baking, like for the cookie sheets.
Okay,
and
yeah.
and yeah, so they don't get like stick to the, and then just spread it there like a very thin, like the same as thick as a cracker, and then you put it in the oven, lower kind of 250 degrees until it gets dry.
Okay.
And you can season as much. You can use like garlic or paprika or something else, or add like sesame seeds if you like, and you have crackers.
Yeah. So we won't waste. So we don't
No.
waste that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have here the cashew, the almond, and then we're gonna put this away, and then we're gonna use now the coconut. Here we have fresh coconut pulp. It's just dice it, and we are going to use it. This is different. This does not require to soak because it's different, the texture. We are gonna blend it with water. So I'm gonna add the water here.
So coconut milk, I really love. This is the one that I used to do when I used to make my own plant-based milks. I don't like doing them now because I'm by myself, so I make too much and then it goes to waste. But this is the one that I used to do, and it is. I love the taste. I love the taste. I would use it for smoothies mainly because it gives it. You don't have to use sweeteners for it, right?
No, because it's already kind of sweet.
Is there a reason why you do it in parts?
No, it's just a blender that it's a new one that I don't know how to
Oh.
how to set. But no, there is no reason.
Is there a difference between using coconut flakes and real coconut pulp?
Yes, there is different in the texture because feels like more fresh when you're using the coconut pulp. But you can also have it with the dry one. I think just you have to use like twice the amount of dry coconut than fresh one, so you can have like really good texture.
When I refrigerate coconut milk, it always leaves this on the top part. It's like a layer of fat that tastes delicious.
Yes, actually,
I love it.
It will depend on how kind of ripe or hard is the coconut, because coconut you can have it like very thin, like almost like a paper, and very soft the pulp. But also you have a very ripe one that is very hard, so that is going to give you a different texture. If you here in Mexico we like say like tender, like tierno, and that one doesn't have that much fat. It mostly water.
Oh yeah, okay.
And the other one that is kind of hard is gonna have very little water, but you're gonna have a lot of pulp. It's hard, and that one is gonna have more fat.
So it's better to make milk with that one.
With the fat one or the middle one if you want. But yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes when I buy coconut water, they always look for the tender ones. right?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's the one that has the most water in it.
Yes, because people that usually sell the water, they want to have more. So
Right.
that's why they choose the tender ones. I mean, I really don't know when is the whole coconut. I don't know how to choose them,
Yeah.
but they know.
Yeah, because you'll go to a coconut stand here. Well, besides here in Tijuana, and I live in Rosarito. In Rosarito, there's a lot more coconut stands all over. So you'll go to a stand. No, I'll just say, I want coconut water. And they'll start knocking on the coconuts and say, oh, this one. And then they can recognize which ones are the most tender and the ones that you can get the most water from.
Yes.
I'm not able to do that. But.
No, I think it will depend. The most water you can hear, like shaking or something. I don't know. They know. I don't know either. Okay, so here we have also our coconut one. Here you can see that we have more pulp also, and as the same as the almond, you can use this. Also, I don't know if in the class that you were with me, we use this one to make crackers too. But to make kind of sweet ones, we add, instead of adding oil, we add some honey and cinnamon, and also can add some other like flaxseed or chia seeds or something to have more fiber. And it will usually, this has more moist, so will take longer to bake, but you can also have it, or you can dry it too and use it like to top something like with smoothies or salad. This is like you buy in the store, like shredded coconut, but just the texture is like more refined because it's blended.
And can you use? Sorry. Can you use the pulp for making granola or for making, adding it to some other type of preparation, like as pulp?
Yes, actually, the coconut and the almond, you can use it. You can mix it with oats like this. You can add some cinnamon, vanilla, add other seeds like pumpkin seeds or sunflower seeds, and put. I put a little bit of coconut oil there, so you can like help to get like brown, and then you put it in the oven, and you can add honey if you want it sweeter, or you can add like any other like raisins if you don't want to use like honey, and then mix it up and put it in the oven and just let it dry like slow. I usually recommend like 300 degrees, so it's not that high, and you can have like a nice golden granola. Okay, but yeah,
Wonderful.
all of this, it usually actually you can mix all these oats with that, and you're gonna have. Or there are some people that doesn't want to eat like that much carbs from, or the starchy from the oats, and you can have like a granola without that, just using the coconut, the almonds, and adding other seeds like the flax seeds, and it's like low carb kind of granola.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, so and now we are going to make the one with oats. I'm just gonna wash this. some substances that you can find here that for some people that is very sensitive can be bloated. You just can't soak the oats, but you're gonna notice like they are kind of sticky, and that's very normal because you are releasing a lot of starch. But one of the things here is that with this one is that you don't want to over blend it, because if you over blend it, you're gonna release a lot of starch from the oats, and you're gonna have like a very sticky like milk. You just want to blend it like for at most 1 minute or less, and then also when we're gonna strain it, not press, like just pour it, because pressing will remove some of the starch on it, so you don't want that. Well, it's not that it's bad for you, it's just like the texture will change.
So oat milk has become very popular lately. And it's weird because I was looking at different brands of plant-based milks, and oat milk is usually the most expensive one. But oats are a lot cheaper than nuts. So it's just become something really popular. And then they also market them as barista for like specifically for coffee. Is there any difference?
Yes, actually, there's a lot of difference. I would recommend not to choose those ones, because the way that they do it for barista is that you can have like lattes or some like foam on your coffee.
Okay.
But usually you don't get that with this. Like you can see this one. I think the most is, as you can see, there is some foam here, and this is the almond one, but this doesn't have much. Especially this is not going to have much. So what they do is that they add a lot of thickeners or gums, so you can have that texture. But yeah, I think those are the worst ones.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I saw and they're very expensive too. Yeah, I saw. I mean, comparing them, they're like $4 more in a pack than the regular like oat ones.
Yeah, and sadly, it's all like business and marketing,
Right?
Because it's more popular. People are looking for them at the coffee shop, so you need this. I'm going to have this for you, but it's going to be more expensive.
Right.
So you can have the texture that you want from regular milk, but you can actually not have from oats, because it's the nature of this food. So it's not the same. Just trying to make it as similar as possible.
Right.
So here I'm not using a spoon or anything to press. I'm just pouring the oat. And here, so I'm gonna have it just like that. And we have a lot of oat. This is basically so blended the fatty one, so I can have like oats that are creamy, and I use it for the breakfast. So this is useful. Or the same, you can mix it or dry it and use it as a granola or as a coffee or freeze it also. I usually don't recommend to freeze it to add it as a smoothie. In my case, eating raw it causes me like some inflammation.
Sorry. That's all. Let's see. Sorry.
So, as you can see, we didn't spend much time doing this for from scratch. So you can have like in less than an hour, of course. You can having all the ingredients ready. You can have this for you can use it. Obviously, you need to. This is for me. This is the best way to put it in the fridge in glass. Or if you have this kind of bottles like mason jars would work, or any other Tupperware or something. Okay. And now what we're gonna do is a smoothie. We're gonna use this. That is the coconut milk. And we're gonna mix in some frozen mango. Now here in Mexico, it's ending the season of mango. I still have this one that is very ripe. I like to use this was fresh and I cut it and I put it in the freezer. So you can see the color is very kind of orange because it's very ripe. So I like to use this one so because that way I won't have to use any other sugar and you can have a kind of sweet smoothie. And of course, we're gonna use protein.
So we're using our apples and pears protein, vanilla, and this has 30 grams of protein per serving. It has probiotics, it has digestive enzymes. This is actually designed for people that have bariatric surgery. So it is a really good option to have if you're making your own smoothies. I know that a lot of people prefer to buy the pre-made ones, but these are really good. This is a really good option if you're making your own smoothies, and also the taste is very neutral. It's very versatile, so you can use with spinach, you can use with fruit, you can use with vegetables. So here we're using our Ninja blender. We have a Ninja and we have a Vitamix too. But now this you could do in a regular blender. Not the milks though, but if you want to make smoothies, you can use a regular blender for that. So I know this video, probably you saw it, you're probably seeing this late, but if you have any questions, you can just write them on the video and I'll be checking to see if there are any specific questions for that. We'll also put the recipes, we have the recipes for the last class and I forgot to post them. I'll be posting them today.
So look this beautiful green color and the smell. It's really nice because of the ripe mango. So I think that is important when you're drinking something. I mean, it's a green color, but it's not like a ugly green that you don't want to taste. And of course, if you smell it, it invites you to drink it. So, and as you see, it's just 4 ingredients: the coconut milk, spinach, mango, and the protein. You don't have to put that much ingredients to make it healthy because you have a vegetable with a lot of fiber, you have a fruit that is a carb, you have healthy fat from the coconut, and you have protein. So you can have this, and you have like a complete
meal. Yeah. Yeah, this can be a meal replacement, definitely.
Yes. Okay, so now what we are going to do is to use this is a cashew, and I'm gonna put a little bit of this in the pot. Okay, now that is all. But you can use either or. And I'm gonna warm it a little bit because we are gonna make like a warm drink.
What are we making? You said moon milk?
Moon milk.
Okay, I've never heard of that, but what is it made of?
Usually they are made with vegetables, like plant-based milks and some spices. You can add different kind of spices. This one specifically, we're going to use lavender, so you can relax or you can use it at the evenings.
Right.
To help you, especially now that it's fall and you want something warm, and using other spices like we're going to use cinnamon and we're going to use star. This is star
Anise. Mm-hmm.
And I also want clove. Just one because it's kind of strong. And you can use maple syrup or you can use honey.
We're going to use honey, right?
We're going to use honey.
So star anise and clover are really good for digestion. So that can also be something that you can do immediately after surgery, or the second week after surgery. If you want to make a tea or an infusion, you can make this recipe and it's going to be really good for digestion. And lavender helps you relax. It's actually been proved. It's been used in some hospitals. It's used as aromatherapy for before the anesthesia, so patients can relax. So these are also functional herbs that, or you can use any herbs, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be this. It can be any herbs.
You can use chamomile or just the spices. Actually, this mix of spices with some of these milks makes a nice drink, like a warm tea.
Milky, like a milky tea. And it's prepared as an infusion, just as if you're making tea. You don't have to blend. You don't have to mix.
No, I'm just warming up. I usually first have the herbs, the spices in separate with some water, and then you add the nut milk just as a kind of a creamer and make it like milky.
Okay.
But if you want it like more thick, you can just not have water here and just use the put here the spices in the pot with the milk and warm it up. For me, it's easier like this because I can put boiled water here, and usually with this natural plant-based milks, if you boil them that much, you can see that the texture may change. They
Okay.
can separate like the fat from the water.
So freezing them and boiling them can make the texture a little bit different.
Yes.
Okay.
That is the difference of having fresh ones without any preservatives or the gums or the things that they put like have it like the same texture so they don't
Okay.
separate. Yes, it's very natural. I mean, it's not that something wrong with it. It's just what it is.
Yeah, so as far as smoothies, like Chef Vidi was saying, if you want to make an infusion or a tea, you can just add